Hey, how you guys all doing? We're gonna get started again here. Thank you to those who bought tickets to the senior prom. We will still be selling tickets after and during breaks, just throughout the day. Real quick, we're gonna have Doug McCallum here. he's gonna talk about an artist that's coming. So
raise your hand if you know who John Denver is. I do that with my kids, not one person raises their hand. On June 26th, a guy by the name of Ted Vigil, who is in Seattle, Washington, who is the top John Denver tribute artist in the United States, is coming here to do a free concert at St. Mark's. We can hold 2,000 people down there, and we expect it to be full. It's free. It's free. So he'll be doing a 90-minute concert. Seating is first come, first served. Doors will open at 6, he'll go on at 7. And it's a fundraiser for an organization called Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And they build beds for kids. Here's the deal. In Lincoln, Nebraska, we have 28 zip codes. 28. In 5 zip codes in Lincoln, Nebraska, there are 8,800 kids sleeping on the floor in Lincoln, Nebraska. And we have decided to do something about it. And so we're helping this Sleep in Heavenly Peace organization raise money to build beds for kids. 8,800 kids in Lincoln, Nebraska. I could not believe that statistic. That's only in 5 zip codes. So I got a hold of this guy, I've heard him, he looks like John Denver, he sounds like John Denver, and we have postcards out there. Take a postcard, tell your friends, bring your friends, and let's do something good for these kids in Lincoln, Nebraska.
What time is that? What time?
there's cards available, so if you just get a card, and when it's closer to time, we can kind of give you more information about it as well. So it sounds like that's happening towards the end of June. So you can come and see Elvis impersonator on June 6th, and then later that month see John Denver. Both in the same month. Sounds like a good deal. All right, so Arla had to leave, so I'm going to take over the moderation for the rest of the session. So I'm going to be asking some questions. We're going to start with Rose. Rose, what types of housing are best for someone with dementia?
Yes, I think if it's at all possible, I think it's wonderful if you can keep your loved one at home, because it's in familiar surroundings with someone familiar they can see. And I know I was able to keep my husband at home to the very end, and he was just always happy-go-lucky, even though he was bedridden, and he always had a big smile in the morning. And I know that wouldn't have been the same case. He was in community care for 30 days, and they're just can't really do the same thing you can do at home, because sometimes I'd go in and they're really busy, and the breakfast would be sitting there, and I'd try to be there for every meal, because otherwise they might not have time to. They would try their best, but they sometimes didn't have time to feed them. So they just can get a lot more attention at home if that's a possibility. But if they, like I was saying earlier, if they start falling and they aren't taking their medicine right, and their nutrition's going down, and they just need more care, then it's a good idea to check into assisted living or a memory care center for them.
Did you have care at home?
I did, and that's a great question. I had some excellent help from Tabitha at home, and they come in twice a week for bathing, and they also come in it depends, you know, what stage they're in, but they come in twice a week in the beginning for nursing also. And toward the end, they'll come in every day. So that, without that, I couldn't have done it at home, but that's a great question. And that is all paid by Medicare. Everything, all the supplies, all the care, everything was taken care of by Medicare.
Well, that answered my next question. I was gonna ask, if memory care was covered by Medicare?
Okay, well, the actual, if they do go into assisted living or memory care center, room and board is never paid by Medicare. Room and board has to be paid either out of pocket, or you have to spend down to the point where you qualify for Medicaid. I hope I said the right thing. Medicare does not pay, Medicaid pays. So also there's a 5-year look back. So if you would try to get rid of your assets and maybe sell your house to your kid for $1 or something, they're still going to look at your asset as full market value. So you really, you know, you want to be honest and not you get yourself kind of in a pickle if you go selling things off cheap, and they will look at that back for 5 full years. And then also, you know, Medicare, you need to just check with Medicare, check with your private insurance if you have some, because they might pay for some of the medical that they've ordered or some of the memory care they've ordered, but definitely not the room and board.
I'm gonna ask George a couple questions here.
I want to add something to that,
Okay.
the 5-year look back. And we have Oasis out here and they can confirm this, but we've talked about this, 5-year look back, and whether or not you have dementia or not. When you go into a senior living community and you're private paying, some of those will allow you, most of them will actually allow you to stay there if you go on Medicaid. And if you've spent down, they're going to do that 5-year look back. If you sell your house to one of these, we buy as is, and you sell it under market value, they consider that you just gave them a $50,000 or a $90,000 gift, okay? And that will penalize you. So you may not be able to stay in that really nice senior living community that you had planned, and you will be penalized by having to go to a state-sponsored senior living community. So be very careful about some of your financial decisions you make.
George, how can seniors assess their current home is suitable for aging in place, at least long term?
Well, we kind of talked about that earlier. Walk through the house objectively and think about trying to move through it with whatever assistance you need to get in the house. A wheelchair is the worst case, and then walkers and those kind of things. And literally, objectively look at it. I've talked to some people here and said, well, the house is accessible. Well, yeah, but the bathroom door, when it swings, it blocks something. So that the point is, go into every room. Can you get into the room? Can you maneuver around? Can you get to the bed? Can you get to the closets? In the kitchen? And, how would you do that in a wheelchair, or how would you do that with a walker? And then look at your steps, your access. I mean, there's so many things in the house you don't think about until you're trying to walk through it with a walker or roll through it with it. But, if you had a wheelchair, making a turn from room to room. And my son worked at a couple of retirement communities, and he said, you can't believe how many doors are torn up by the wheelchairs that are there. And maintenance is all patching up all the doors from that. And these are places that are designed for seniors.
What professionals should seniors consult before deciding to age in place?
Talk to your doctor, about your physical condition and what the doctor sees is going to, that you're going to progress to. I mean, you look at yourself, no, I'll be fine. Well, I'm not fine. And I broke my ankle in December. It was supposed to be a quick surgery and back up. I've had 2 surgeries, number 3 is coming. And they tell me I'm gonna be in a boot for another 3 to 4 months. Okay? but get the right doctor, the one that actually knows and deals with seniors and deals with us and our condition.
That's great.
Now, the last question that you answered, Alicia, can you go over that again?
She asked if you could go over the information.
So when you are on Medicare and you're living in a senior living community, lots of times when you go there, you have to private pay for 2 or 3 years. Different ones have different requirements. And then if you've used all your resources, you can go on Medicaid and you can still stay in this, lots of times the same room and everything. But they will do that 5-year look back to get approved for Medicaid. If you have given somebody a large sum of money, and that includes if you sell your house, lower the market value to anybody, but especially some of these predatory practices where, you know, we buy your house as is and they're saying we'll save you all kinds of money and it'll make it fast and easy. But if you're selling your house for $20,000, $50,000, $90,000 less than market value, they consider that you just gave that person a really nice gift. And that's gonna penalize you. So you may not be able to stay in that senior living community that you wanted to, and you may have to go to a state-funded, Medicaid-approved
So
community.
you have to make sure that you sell your house for market value.
Contact a professional. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay,
Go ahead. My question is, you're saying that, if you sell your house later and they consider that, just say the 90,000 a gift to someone, then you have to possibly move to a different facility, is that correct? Now,
yes,
how-
so how that works, there's gonna be a gap. So what, the money that you have on hand,
Right.
that you paid for to stay at that place, that's gonna be exhausted. And then you're gonna say, okay, how can I pay for that? Well, with that 5-year look back, they're gonna, the Medicare is gonna come back and say, no, you still have this amount of money, so you should be able to pay for it still. But
So-
you don't have that.
Yeah, so it comes to a point where you have to literally have nothing almost to get on Medicaid to apply to get back into a facility that you were in before, I think.
I couldn't hear the question.
She's saying, so you have to exhaust all of your money to be able to,
Yes, you have to spend down totally. There's a small amount of money that you can still have in your possession. I'm not sure what that amount is.
It used to be 4,000.
4,000, somebody said it's 4,000, it could have changed. That sounds about right. Where's Dave? Where's Dave Tuttle?
He just
Or-
walked by right out there.
Or, one of Oasis, maybe they can help answer that
Alicia,
question.
she wants to know, can you get back into the same facility?
After you've exhausted everything and you're back, you're on Medicaid.
What was the question?
Can you get back into the same facility?
a lot,
Uh, that would depend on them, but usually no.
usually not because a lot of times there's not space available at that place that you were anymore. They gave up.
You can usually stay if you're private paying and you go right to Medicare. But if you, lots of times they won't take you right in off of Medicare and they treat you as a new case.
Don't you mean Medicaid?
And Medicaid, right, yeah, you know, whatever. That's what I tell my kids, you know what.
No, we don't necessarily know what you mean.
We're gonna cover a couple of more things. We are gonna have a Q&A session, so we'll hold off questions until that Q&A. We're gonna ask a couple more questions from our panel here. So, I do have a question for George. George, are there local programs or grants that are available to help with home modifications for seniors?
Well, there are some, and a lot of it depends upon your financial condition. But groups like Aging Partners and some of those are good resources to go to, and they can talk to you about what assistance you get or what you might qualify for. But a lot of it is tied to your income, just like all the rest of the stuff we've been talking about.
Gotcha. And Rose, how can we involve someone with dementia in the moving process?
Okay, well, first of all, like I had mentioned earlier, you do want to kind of go slower with someone that has dementia because things are frustrating and confusing to them. But you want to assure them that if you're going to make a move, that it's going to be to their benefit. They're going to have some people there to, for company rather than just being more isolated. it's for their safety, and also, involve them in what they might wanna take with them. Maybe they wanna take some special pictures or special blankets, or just something that comforts them when they get there. Also, you can, involve them in going and visiting the place that you intend for them to stay. And, just be patient, just really patient and compassionate is the main thing.
What kinds of questions should you ask the community if you're touring a community? What kinds of questions should
When
you
you,
ask?
when you tour a community, I would ask, how many patients they have to the number of staff they have. And you'd wanna ask kind of what the daily process is in the facility, in the community, and, what kind of activities they have. You might wanna go there and have lunch, check out the food and see if that's satisfactory to you. You ask them about the family visiting, what hours they can visit, and where they have for them to visit too. Some communities will even take people out on trips and outings and go play bingo or go to the casino or something, so that's something to consider. And, I guess that's about it.
Okay, great. All right, now we're gonna open it up for some questions, okay?
So let's have Kelsey.
Kelsey, why don't you join our panel for some questions? I know there's a lot of questions here about what Medicaid will cover and about that gap with the 5-year look back if you have given funds away. So maybe touch a little bit about that.
Sure, so I'm Kelsey Hutchison with Oasis Senior Advisors, and we get this question all the time, how to successfully plan or what the Medicaid process looks like. It's very different for everyone depending on your property, depending on your estate plan that you have set up. What we always recommend is if you're able to pay taxes on something, that is what they're going to be looking at in your 5-year look back. They don't care about an antique armoire that's worth money. They don't even know that you have that. If you're paying taxes on a car, if you're paying taxes on a home or an acreage or loads and loads of land, they want to make sure that you're not gifting that away to family so that then the state has to pay for your care. Because the state is wondering, why would we have to pay for your care if you have millions of dollars worth of property? We would want to sell that. So you just need to make sure that your estate is set up appropriately in whichever way so that the state knows, okay, that was passed down to family as an operation or property or whichever, so it was not a gift. It was not gifted. Yes, Natalia?
And this includes retirement accounts or brokerage accounts?
Correct. So all of your brokerage accounts, any retirement accounts, 401ks, all of that stuff, you want to connect with an estate planner, with your financial advisor, so you can create that plan before it is time. There are a lot of parties that come into play when it comes to moving into a community and doing a spend down wisely. Gifting money is never a good thing unless you do it correctly. And a financial advisor and estate planner are sure the ones to connect with to do that correctly. Also, if you have not planned your funeral or you don't have your funeral expenses covered, that is something that's not penalized in a Medicaid look back. So if you only have, let's say, $20,000, to your name and you're living in a community and you have not paid that off and you're doing a spend down, that would be a great way to do your spend down. So that way your kids know that it's taken care of, that's been communicated, and it's not penalized. So just certain things like that. But most of the time we do want to direct towards, those estate planners, those attorneys, financial planners, but also the Department of Health and Human Services. As the Medicaid look back, it can change yearly. The state can put in new systems in place that we try and be very, very fluid with and make sure everyone's following the right rules.
Okay, more questions. I'm gonna walk around with the microphone
And
now.
can you specifically talk about real estate? If you sell your real estate to somebody who's buying it less than the market value, and you go from private pay to Medicaid, and they look back and they see that, you know, you actually sold your house undervalued, what happens then?
So you can be penalized for that, or your estate would be penalized, so you may not qualify for Medicaid at that time. The state then decides kind of on a formula of what you would end up having to pay or what your estate has to pay. It varies by person, but it is best to, you know, again, consult with those estate planners, consult with a realtor, financial advisor, all of those parties who, you know, are licensed and able to do that. So everyone, all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted to make that a successful transition if it needs to happen.
Is there a amount of
We have
cash
we
gift?
have a mic coming around for questions.
walking
Hang on.
around with the
Hold that thought.
Okay, so if you're saying 5 years, so if you do sell your place 6 years, they don't go back and look at that?
I mean, I believe it can vary. You know, they do a 5-year look back, that's kind of the general term. But if all of a sudden you had $8 million in assets 6 years ago, and now you don't have anything, I think that they're gonna notice that. But, you know, there again, talk with your estate planner, talk with your financial advisor. We belong in an agricultural state. You know, $8 million is nothing when you're talking about farm ground. But if you have multiple generations who are needing to use that ground for operations later down the road, you want to get that sorted out so that you can operate what you need for care, but that your family and their operation can continue on as well. So
Is there a cash donation or cash gift level that triggers like a 5-year, if you gave your kids money?
yes, so it does vary each year. So normally we say, you know, in the range of $500 to $1,000. Just be mindful of those amounts. But there again, you can just check with your financial advisor or an estate planner, as it can change yearly based on the election year and things like that as to what they're doing for that look back.
Can you repeat his question?
He wanted to know what amount flags for the 5-year look back, what dollar amount. We've seen it change, but most of the time we say anything between $500 and $1,000. Just check on that with your estate planners.
For a gift.
For a gift, correct.
Any other questions?
One of the things that surprised me in working with a relative 5 years ago was the 5-year look back. And I was told at that time that for a single person to go on Medicaid, they had to have less than $4,000. And as a married couple, they had to have less than $8,000. Are those still the current numbers?
I believe so. I think last I looked, a couple was like $10,500, and a single person's $4,000. But that is available online through the Department of Health and Human Services to verify that.
Dave, do you know what that number is?
Yeah, you're right, it's 4,000 per person.
Okay, so 4,000 per person.
You were saying 500 or 1,000, I thought it was 19,000 that you could give away in cash.
Again, I would just verify with your estate planner because everyone's very different.
And I think that's for income tax purposes. You can give a gift to somebody for, I think that's the amount for a tax write-off gift before they have to actually claim that.
So different than that.
Yeah, different, totally different thing. Other questions?
Just a quick note. This working? Just a quick note. Alicia's correct. There's a big difference between what Medicaid allows and what IRS is going to allow. So keep that in mind when you're looking at those donation amounts. And another thing to keep in mind when they're looking at those assets, cash value life insurance policies count as the asset as well. So if you have $10, $20, $100,000 worth of cash life insurance, that's gonna count towards that $4,000 as well.
Another kind of point to that we see sometimes is long-term care insurance. If there is a long-term care insurance policy, please be mindful of what your elimination period is and that you have enough assets to cover the elimination period. A lot of long-term care policies have, maybe 100-day elimination period. If you are choosing to move into a skilled nursing, then that means you're paying close to $13,000 to $14,000 to $15,000 a month for 100 days. So just make sure that you have enough assets that you can use your long-term care policy when it comes into play. We help review those often because a lot of people just don't understand how that really works.
Yes, and in addition to that, the activities for daily living, my 96-year-old mother was going to move into a facility, and so when they tested her, she had to not be able to do the activities for daily living. At least, I'm not sure what the number was, but she could do all of them at 96. So she got nothing after years and years and years of paying into that particular fund. We're here for a long-term care policy.
Sounds like that could be a whole nother discussion. Do we have any questions that have to do with transitioning or downsizing or anything that are like that? We could probably talk all day about the ins and outs of Medicaid and Medicare.
I have a comment with Rose when she was talking about going to care facilities and questions to ask them. I went on the internet and just typed in questions for care facilities, and I got like a 5-page questionnaire, which was super to take along and ask people at the care facilities. It was wonderful, and it covered everything. So look on the internet for that. I can't remember what site I went to, but it was a great tool to use.
Yeah, and Tanya and Kelsey and Chrissy, they're with Oasis, and they can help you, guide you into we do have a list of questions as well that are available for people who want to tour a senior living community.
And just real quick, I just wanted to top that off. Absolutely, there are some fabulous resources out there on the internet. We try to keep a pretty hefty library of those resources as well on the Oasis side. And the only reason is we just have to be careful. Well, we all do, all ages on the internet. Sometimes you can inadvertently or unwittingly get in with an entity because you've opted in requesting information such as a questionnaire or pricing or something along those lines. And you aren't aware that you are now their client, and that becomes a barrier for your ability to access local assistance. Because now all of a sudden they have claimed you as their client, and your local boots on the ground folks then can't really jump in hefty and help you out. So just be careful on that piece if you're opting in, just to make sure that you're not getting in with one of those larger conglomerates, if you will. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think there was a
Any
question
other
over here.
questions?
Do you have a question? Do you have a question?
Yeah,
Cora?
I didn't hear that earlier question about $4,000. What is $4,000?
So the $4,000 is the amount of money that you have to spend down to be able to be covered by Medicaid.
And it's money and or assets.
Correct, money or assets.
Tax.
All right, so I think we're gonna kind of close up the question session here. If you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, our real estate group, the Nebraska Real Estate Specialty Group, we specialize in senior transitions. That's our main goal, is to get you guys transitioned to where you want to go. So if you have any questions, get a hold of us. We can point you into any resources. We can point you towards Oasis. We can point you towards downsizing people. We can act as your hub to get to the places that you need to be. Do we have any more comments up here from our panelists?
I'd just like to see if there's anybody here that hasn't been touched by somebody with Alzheimer's in your family, a friend. Is there anybody that hasn't been? This is what I found. You don't know anyone with Alzheimer's? Just one person? Couple? Yeah, I just asked that because my husband, when he was, had Alzheimer's, and he was out in the community, and I just found that everyone, from the police to the person driving down the street, all had so much empathy. And the thing I heard from everyone was that they all had a relative or friend, mostly relatives. Almost everyone has a relative with Alzheimer's. So I was just curious. Pretty much everyone has something.
Does everybody have an evaluation? Did we get those things? No? Okay. We're gonna get the evaluations handed out here so we can get those underway so we can get you guys some prizes. How about that? When we're all up here on the panel, it's hard to get all the stuff out to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
You need an evaluation?
I've got one, a couple right here if you need them.
We appreciate you guys filling out these evaluations completely. They help us fine tune our seminars and find topics that you want to hear about and how we can help you. We're going to have our educational partners introduce themselves and tell you about the door prizes they brought.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sadie. I work with the Alzheimer's Association Nebraska chapter. I am also hosting this next luncheon that hopefully you are registered for, so you may be seeing more of me today if you're staying. But anyway, I have the honor of giving away this beautiful flower. Okay, I'm trying to also hold it up. That has this really cute holder that looks like a little mini picket fence, and also some lovely fresh flowers along with our Alzheimer's Association flowers. Each flower represents a different reason to fight against Alzheimer's disease. So, and I'm taking credit for this because Reagan, who has been manning our booth, is the one who got this lovely prize, but she told me I could present. So yeah, hope you win this one.
Hi there, my name is Rodney, this is Taylor, we're with Archwell Health. This is Jose. We are primary care providers here in the Lincoln area on 48th Mill Street, right next to Super Saver. But the thing that makes us different, we only see seniors that are on Medicare Advantage. Things that really set us apart is, if you're going to your doctor, you spend more time in the lobby than you are in front of your doctor, you should come see us. If you want to have a doctor that takes the time to listen to you, and not just one or two things at a time, but everything is concerned with your health, we'd love to see it. We have an activity center, so it's not just a doctor's office. We do have activities going on almost every day, something going on. Next week, we do have a pizza party on Tuesday. And then also having a classic movie trivia on Friday afternoon. Love to have you there. You don't have to be a member to join in the fun there, so love to see you. And we are giving away a box of chocolatey goodness here. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Tanya Gottman, Oasis Senior Advisors. This is my better half over here, Miss Kelsey Hutchison. We are giving away, look at the size of this thing. So if you have one of those shepherd hooks things in your garden, this is the one for you. Also, if you need to find us later, just follow the trail of pink petals. If you have some questions, we'll be right there. So this is our giveaway.
All right, I'm Kim Nesha. I'm with Caring Friends. We're an in-home care group that we can come in, help you with anything from housekeeping, errands, transportation, med reminders, things like that. So I'm usually here on this day when you guys come, so you'll be seeing me. But today I have, and it's not just popcorn, it is a $25 gift card to Hy-Vee. So if you need some supplies because Memorial Day is coming up, there you go.
Hi, I'm Susan. I am from Sage Living by Tabitha. We are an independent living community. We also have an intergenerational aspect. So we also have college students living in our community. But again, completely independent apartments. They are rentals, they are not buy-ins. And then we also have a huge community aspect where we have lots of activities, clubs, games, outings, all kinds of fun things. Really have this. Oh yes, I brought some towels, dish towels, and like some baking, some spatulas.
Hi, I'm Danielle Kanivi. I'm the owner of a New Dawn Insurance. So I specialize in life and health insurance for any of your life transitions. If you have any questions about your policies, anything that you need help with, I'm happy to help. And I have some fun flowers for you today.
Last but not least, my name is Dave Tuttle. I am forgetful, so I didn't bring anything today. But I promise you, you all are witnesses, I'll bring double the value next month. Anyway, what I do for a living, which I love, is I help people just like you in all aspects of living. I've heard a lot of things about different topics. We will help you with all those topics. Okay, we are, as Tanya said, boots on the ground. We will, when it comes to Medicare, when it comes to Medicaid, when it comes to life insurance, when it comes to everything else, long-term care, especially long-term care. And then, of course, your investments, your portfolio, you know. We live in a volatile time right now. So it's very important that you keep an eye on that, and we'll help you do all of that. So, anyway, like I said, I didn't bring anything. What? Okay, whatever.
Okay, do we have all the evaluations completely filled out? We're gonna let Rose and George make friends today. Don't forget, we're gonna have the Alzheimer's session next, and we have a box lunch coming up for you. And you can still buy prom tickets today. And you want to come to prom? And then you're John Denver. Okay, not long?
Oh, that's a volunteer. Well, I'm married to her.
Got those, CJ?
So I don't really have much choice. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Any others?
They'll pick it up.
And we do want to thank everybody for coming today. We touched on a lot of different subjects today, and we appreciate the questions. We do want you to know that this is a safe place for you to ask the questions, and that we care about you, and, you know, there's a lot of things that you don't have all the answers to. We're here to help you provide solutions and contacts and resources, as well as all these educational partners. Just call us and ask us questions that pertain to our area of expertise. That's what we're here for, okay? Okay, who's gonna win today? Anybody feel lucky?
She always wins.
So as we draw your name, you can come up and you can pick one of the door prizes. Okay. No peeking. Pick one. Mary Ann Whipple. Are you here, Mary Ann? Okay, go ahead and pick one. Okay. Judy Smith. Judy. Tina Plessy. Dan Rika. Dan, are you here? Okay. Ramona Favor. Okay, Rita Breen. Where are you, Rita?
It's a lot of work. We just done our Lincoln Festival.
We have one left, right? One left?
No, I think we're.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's it. So. You got one more?
Okay, so from the Nebraska Real Estate Specialty Group, we're gonna give away one free ticket to the prom. Sandra Smith. All right.
Guess who's going to the prom? You've just been asked officially. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, I think we've got the lunch ready out here. You got the lunches ready?
Awesome. So yes, lunch is ready. We had, I think, George, it was 42 people register for that lunch. So we did order a few extra. So if, you know, after being here today, you think, man, you know, I wish I would have registered. I kind of want to stay. I just ask that let people who registered get that lunch first to make sure that that's covered. But then after a little bit or so, we can make an announcement that there's leftover lunch, which I'm hoping there will be lots of. So, but otherwise, we'll do lunch here, and then you'll have time to eat lunch, and the programming will start around 12:30. But they'll introduce us and do all that good stuff too. So. Yep. Yeah, probably about 12:15. So we have some time. So no rush. But thank you.
All right, thanks for coming, everybody.